Are there some cannabinoids more immunosuppressant than others? Yes, there is some data here. And then afterwards, we'll use this great chart to see what CBD does on all of these different types of immune cells. So if you don't know your immune cells, this will be a fun walk down immune cell lane. I'm Lex Pelger. I do canna education for CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD, with excellent CBD and THC products that can help you with your immune system. So I haven't seen one paper that has this cannabinoid stronger than this cannabinoid, stronger than this cannabinoid kind of thing, like you have for some aspects of what cannabinoids do. Because the immune system is just so complicated. You're talking about lots of different types of cells and reactions to different types of invaders and immune threats. But I think this conclusion from this paper has a good overall feel for it. The cannabinoids that are binding to the CB2 receptor tend to be the most immunosuppressant. So those I would mention would be CBD, CBC, CBG, the mother cannabinoid, and beta-caryophyllene, usually the most common terpene, and the only terpene that's also a cannabinoid because it also binds to the CB2 receptor. So if you want to do some immune system suppression for autoimmune disorders, those would be the first ones that I would go to. One of the reasons this is all very complex to study is because look at all of these different types of immune cells. The cannabinoids do different things at each of these, and all of them have different functions. But we'll use this chart to go over these immune cells in order of most sexy. Starting with natural killer cells. How's that for a sexy name? These are cells that go and they kill the cells that get infected with viruses or that have become tumor cells. And so sometimes those cells don't have antibodies on the outside or some kind of indication that they're stressed or sick. The natural killer cells can still pick it up and still kill those cells. They're a really important part of the immune cells floating around in our blood. And CBD lowers inflammation in those cells, which presumably helps them work better. Then macrophages. They remind me of the blob. When invaders come in, they eat them and digest them. Also very important, and also the CBD is lowering their inflammation. Then monocytes, which they differentiate into many other cell types, so that's very important. They also simply help the body with its immune system response in terms of tissue repair and adaptive immune responses, and you can see that the CBD does a whole bunch of things for that as well. Then mast cells. These are ones you think about in your skin because they release histamine and lead to allergic reactions. And so in general, part of the help of CBD for allergies is because of these mast cells. Then the astrocytes. I adore them. They are called that because they look like stars. How wonderful. And they're in the brain and they do so many different functions. They form the blood-brain barrier. They provide nutrients to the nervous system. They maintain your ion balance in the brain, the regulation of cerebral blood flow, and a role in the repair and scarring processes that happen in the brain and spinal cord following infection and traumatic injuries. So the astrocytes do so much. And when you look at the neuronal research literature, you often see the cannabinoids working via the astrocytes or these microglial cells. Speaking of, these microglial cells are very important. They make up 10 to 15% of the cells in your brain, and they're known as the immune guardian cells of the brain. And when you read the literature about how cannabinoids are helping the brain, this is absolutely the most common cell type that you see referenced, especially via the CB2 receptor. Then the oligodendrocytes, these are ones that put the myelin sheaths around your neurons that allow that electricity to travel. So in MS, when your brain is attacking the myelin sheaths, this is what you need to be stronger. And that's why CBD seems to be so strong looking for MS. Finally, the neutrophils. These make up more than half of the white blood cells in your bloodstream, and they are the first line defense. If you have a cut or something like that, or an invader, within minutes, the neutrophils are there. And as you can see, again, the CBD is helping with the tissue infiltration as well as lowering inflammation. So overall, this helps give you a little sense of the complexities of the cannabinoids and the immune system. Feel free to ask me anything.